Hello, brother. Today we're going to talk about how I went from a D to an A student and how you can do the same thing. So, I didn't give a fuck, but deep down we all do. What do I mean by this? We all have this front. I see with a lot of people of like, oh yeah, I don't care about grades and I'm going to do this. And like, my story with this was I remember saving back in like GCSEs, which was 4 years ago. Now, it's for people who don't know, it's the exam in England when you're like 15, 16. All my friends and I were saying, oh yeah, don't care about GCSEs, they're not important to get into uni or, you're gonna start business and everything. And then when we'd ask each other, we're like, oh, are you revising? We'd all say yes, and their reasoning was, well, I still want to do good. It's okay, you have to find your reason, and everyone has one. It's like you're not watching a video on studying if you don't care about the result, right? You're not watching a video on studying because you find studying so exciting. No, it's because you want the result from it. Now, yes, sure, studying can be quite rewarding, it can be quite fun, some people may really enjoy that. But the ultimate goal from it is the grade or it's the praise from the parents. It's like, take it a step further. It's like, why do you want these grades? I wanted them over the last year because both my friend group, I was like competing with a few people in my friend group over some lessons. My girlfriend was doing the same exams, and when I did my first iteration of exams, like the same ones, in the three lessons that I was studying, that's how many you do in England, I got CDD. Then the time after that, I again got CDD, which is like terrible. And I thought, if I do this for the real exam, and they find out, like they all gonna think I'm just like an actual idiot. There wasn't any way to salvage that. It's like if the people around me find out that these are the grades I got, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you tried and whatever. You were busy doing other stuff." But it's not the same. Like you want people to think, "Damn, you did so good. You improved so much. Like so smart. You just weren't putting effort into it." And that's the case about it. That's what we want. So the point from this is you gotta find your reasoning, and that was my reasoning because if you don't have this deeper level reasoning, it's because you haven't really thought about it, and it's like yeah, seeing the grade on the piece of paper doesn't really matter to you. As okay, why? What does that grade symbolize? Does it symbolize the approval from your parents? Does it symbolize how you feel about yourself, your self esteem? Does it symbolize a future job, a future career, a field you want to go into? Find out that deeper meaning and really like dive into that. Think about that. Journal for like 5 minutes. Okay, what will happen if I don't get that? How would I feel like if I did get that? And you'll see these two alternate versions of yourself and think, wow, wouldn't it be so fantastic for me to achieve that? So, next, the first point. So now you figured out why you really want to do this. And this is a quote from one of my favorite teachers that I've had is, I've already done my exams, I have my grades, like, it's your turn now. Her reasoning behind this was like, I don't care what you guys do. It's like, I've done my exams, it's up to you now. And the thing she kept telling us, and none of us were really doing, was said from the first day of our lessons and in 2 years when we have our exams, said, I want you to start revising for the exams today. 5 minutes a day, in 3 days, check it again, in a week, check it again. Just as you go, you'll build up content in your mind. So, the study method, you've probably heard of it, but I want to like recap it for you. Memory works like this. So, you learn a piece of content. For the first day, it's like quite sharp, and then it drops quite sharply. And then if you recap it, it stays a little bit longer and then falls off. And then if you recap it again, it stays a bit longer and falls off. And you can keep doing this and keep doing this. Like, it can be one day, then you can check it after 2 days, then you can check it after 4 days, then a week. Do you see it's growing and growing and growing? And then you can check it after 2 weeks, then a month. And then you have this content, these topics that you've studied so many times. Well, what's the realistic way to do this? Start today, start ASAP. This is at the start of the video because if you're going to take away anything from this, take this fact that if your exam is in a week or your exam is in 2 years, start today. Like, the more time you have, the more time you're giving your brain to learn stuff. So I went from getting, so by the way, for reference, like I went from getting DDC, DDC to ABB within 2 months' time. And this is like top 20 uni, and this is like your no, you're not going to get into university, you're going to get to a terrible one. So this was a massive jump. I went from like the bottom quarter of students to like top 15, 20%. And I did this while also doing full time uni, by the way. So I know my stuff when it comes to studying over the last year. I did 2 full time educations. And for uni, I also got all distinctions, which is like the highest grade I can achieve. Now, the reason I achieved this is because as soon as I realized this, I was studying for months and months and months and months and months. Like, you have to start, even if your revision is like this, where at the start you do 5 minutes a day, and then a week later 10, then 2 weeks later you'll do 20 minutes a day, and then you can do 40, an hour. This builds up, because if you start today and your exam is in 3 months, then in a month's time, in 2 months' time, you'll be studying consistently 2 or 3 hours a day, or whatever that really difficult stage for you is now. Where if today, like when I started, I could think I'm going to be studying an hour or two a day, and then near the end I was studying like 4, 6, 8 hours. You build it up over time, and the earlier you start, the better. 5 minute presentation. So something we had to do in class is like 6 months before our exams, my teacher said to us, okay, all of you are going to make a like 5 minute presentation explaining your favorite revision method, why you use it, why it's good. And we got about, in a group of 30 people, about 15 different answers. Some people said essay writing, other people said watching videos, other people said writing essays, other people said reading notes, going on a whiteboard, all these things. And the fact is that everyone has a different style. Sure, some styles are better than others. Like, if you go and you do like past papers constantly, like the most difficult task, or you go and read a textbook, both are going to be like, this was better than this, but find a style that works for you. Because if I'm telling you to revise a few hours a day every day until your exam, you need to find a method you like. Now, very quickly and very briefly on this, 2 methods I found the best is one, watching videos on the topic. Like, I was using something called Uplearn, where it show you videos and then quiz you on stuff. Amazing stuff. Like, quizzing, testing is far better than just reading. They did a study once where they test 2 groups on memory, because that's what tests really are, right? Like a big part of them at least, where one group would read an article or a research study, whatever, once, something they had to remember, then they test, and then they test. Like with, say, 2 or 3 month intervals between. Now the group would read, take a break, read of like weeks or months, read and then test. So for this final test, this group got supremely better. The group that read it once and then tested, did so much better than the group that read the material, reread it, tested. Testing is the best method. This doesn't necessarily mean do a full like past paper, do a full exam. It can mean quiz yourself, watch the content, and I think, okay, what can I remember? Go back, watch it again. Okay, rewrite what you remember. Fill in the gaps of what you forgot. And just do this over and over and over, and then you'll learn something off by heart. Now, the way I really factorize this with near exams, when I made this more practical, I took a topic I needed to watch. I just opened a Google Docs, and there was, say, a list of 20 videos. I'd watch a video, before the video, I'd write everything I can remember. Then I'd watch the video, go back, fill in everything I remember, go back, watch the video, fill in the things again, and then for a final attempt, just watch the video, anything I forgot, fill it in. And that way, and I'd even highlight the new parts in red. So then I had a full document of notes, but it was notes I was testing to write. It was tested notes constantly. So I had tested myself in this process 4 times. Very, very helpful. A wolf who eats always has a pack. So you never see wolves hunting alone in the wild. They're always in packs. If you have friends who are doing the same lesson as you, speak to them about it. You don't need to revise together. Some people don't like that. Share notes. Keep updated. Ask your friend how much they're revising, because then if they tell you, I'm studying 3 hours a day, you're like, I'm only studying 1. If they tell you I'm only studying 1 hour, you can motivate them and tell them, yeah, I'm studying this much. Or if you're both studying little, okay, bro, how about we're going to send a message today to every single day, 10 o'clock, we're going to send a message to each other of how much we revised that day. And if you don't have someone to do this with, just like open a chat GBT like conversation. I know this sounds silly, but every day go and like give an update. And it's going to tell you, okay, yeah, today you did good in this, and you can tell, okay, yeah, I didn't really study too much today, or other days you did a lot better. Just have someone, preferably a person, someone you see, person of course, but if you don't have that, speak to ChatGPT or something, just somewhere that you can have accountability to. Really, really helps. And it goes back to the first principle of like, why do you care? Well, no, the social implications of this are quite important. Stay in the pocket. Now, we're studying consistently, we're studying for a long time, we have accountability, we know how we're gonna study, like our study method. Now you gotta stay in the difficult part. You gotta stay where the boxes are and they're just swinging at each other and no one's backing away. As it approaches and you're ramping up your revision hours to whatever's sustainable for you and feels good, and you can still exercise, sleep well, all these things. I don't want you to be studying 12 hours a day and not sleeping right. It's going to be useless. Study for 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, but make it good. Stay in the pocket. Do the difficult stuff. Like, I could have spent the whole year watching videos, or I could spend the first while watching videos and then bringing in some questions, and then near the end of the year, like, exclusively doing difficult questions. That's how you're going to improve. As you know the content, and you're just revising now, you're not learning, because obviously if the test comes up in front of you, it's a topic you missed in class, or you weren't there, or weren't paying attention, you can't test yourself on it. What you can do is watch the video, have a brief understanding, and then test yourself on it and go back and see what you missed. So try increase the difficulty of study methods. You know what that is for you. Fundamentally, it's always going to be past paper questions compared to watching videos or rereading your notes, or like the textbook, right? Try and make it more difficult. If you can't do this for the whole time, reward yourself. Do half your session like the easy part and then the difficult part for the rest of it. Finally, shadowboxing cycles. This is something stupid I used to do near the end and I thought it was like a fun tip. It's like, okay, we're studying really difficult, like the really difficult stuff. We're studying for hours a day. Like I had to do both these exams and university. So I was studying for like a lot, man. How can you like keep yourself motivated and do all these things? Because near the end of my exams, like school, we went on study leave, so we'd be at home and you'd only come in for an exam. So I was like at home and I had all day to study the hours I'd be in school. Obviously, I wouldn't study the whole time, right? I would do other stuff as well. Probably like I could have studied, but I found that more productive for me. Something I do is I try break up my mundane sitting on my laptop, filling in questions, quizzes, all this stuff. I had to get up, I literally walk around my room shadow boxing, I'd go stand by my window and just look outside for 3 minutes, go like do some push ups, just keeping it fresh, keeping it moving, keep blood going, like just stand up. I'd watch videos and I'd just be pacing around my room, paying attention, of course. You can walk and pay attention. Like, walking is not going to take so much focus away, you just do it automatically. And that was like a really fun tip that helped me. The accountability tip also helped me a lot. And time management is very important, but that's something I've spoken about like extensively on my channel. And I think get a timetable to set out your revision hours and what you're going to study. It's really helped me, bro. Now, I've gone from a student that was doing terrible to then being accepted into uni a year early, getting distinctions, improving my grades so much. And that's what I taught you in this video, and I really, really hope this helped for you, man. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments for me. I'll get back to you. Now, much love, bro. Get off YouTube, go do some work. Bye bye.